I don't know why it's gonna go. Don't have a party set up for this one. That could be a problem. Don't have a party set up for this one, so that could be a problem. But alright, so today we're going to talk about Grover, and talking about Grover is going to be a little bit messed up because Grover's a fucked up champion. Now, Grover has some good cards. He does. These are what I like to call support cards. They benefit they benefit his playstyle by buffing your playstyle. And Grover is a very unique support champion because he's kind of fucked. I want to show off something here. So hold on a sec. Before we... Hold on. We gotta go off screen for a minute. Okay. Alright. Here it is. I have some props for this one. This is what Grover's axe is now. This is a flimsy piece of foam. Okay, this is foam. I can hit that against my head or my arm. No problem. That's nothing. That's Grover's axe. This is what it used to be. Okay? See the weight of that. Okay? That is not something you want to do. You don't want to do this. That is a very bad idea. Okay? I don't want to touch that too much. That's heavy. This is what his axe used to be. When he would go like that, and that, and that. And then they turned him into that. Look at that. Okay. Just wanted to show that off for a minute. So, we're going to talk about ferocity. I want to show you why. All of these builds are really healing builds because Grover doesn't have damage builds. Believe it or not, he doesn't really have good damage builds. They're mostly built around healing. You just pick something and roll with it. And
now you see,
you're able to do a ton of damage as a sniper Grover.
When I rush.
Kill. Killing spree. Triple kill.
You can do 1,000 an axe potentially.
Rampage.
Did I do that? Yes, I think I did.
Yet, the closer you get, the less damage you deal.
Now you see my
The minimum you're gonna do. Hold up. Is 300 damage. So Sniper Grover is what you want to run. Grover's problem is this. Let's look at his kit, right? It deals more damage the further you are away, and it deals less damage the closer you are. And then the rest of your kit is pretty solid. But here's your problem. So you have to run Ferocity to get that.
Savage.
If you want that, you have to run this card. So that forces you to choose your damage. Now you have Deep Roots, and this is my only Deep Roots build. Deep Roots is a solid card because it enables you to do that. So I have the max cooldown reduction on the cripple throw. That's a 4-second cripples, which are great, and then I have just basic healing. That's the thing on Grover. Grover has a problematic kit. I'll show off in a minute.
Well, you know.
Alright, so let's look at this.
It's not my time yet. Spirits, come.
Double
Back
kill.
to elementary
Triple
school.
kill. That's
Stomps.
13 in a row.
The problem with Grover on this card is that, again,
Hold them fast.
you're running that to get a benefit out of it. And it's a decent build, but you're sacrificing your healing. And then now we're going to look at the healing card. So you have Rampant Blooming is a card I kind of shit on a lot because of the fact of how badly he gets affected by Cauterize. See, Effervescence is great because it doubles your passive healing. So allies that are next to you that are not getting that burst heal, that miss out on the burst heal, they get double that benefit. So you heal 80 health per second just being near him. And it expands your range by almost double. And you can run legendary, you can run a loadout card for another 50%. So you would have a double Effervescence build, which is great. Rampant Blooming is a problem because it heals them for 200 health per second, basically for 4 seconds. Okay. And the problem that I have with that card is simply the fact that Cauterize completely cuts that card out. You say, well, it cuts out the other card, but the other card gives me Radius. The other card gives me Expanse. I can run an Efflorescence build without having to expand my Radius because I have it in Efflorescence. I can't do that on Rampant Blooming. On Rampant Blooming, I have to have the what I call the Efflorescence loadout card at level 5 for that 50% bonus. These are your two go-to cards, but there's not really bad cards on him. These simply are your damage ones. These are your damage and these are your healing. So for the rest of the builds, I'll show off Efflorescence. Now this is the thing with Grover. So you have Ballroom Blitz. This is, again, basic one. So you have increase the radius. This is a cooldown reduction build. And I will probably end up eliminating this build. But this is a good standard build. So just, you know, eliminations, you can reset cooldowns very quickly. I like these types of builds for something like an Onslaught where you're going to be fighting a lot more. It's going to be a close quarters fight. This is a better type of setup for you, especially for healing.
Grow, little one. Grow.
I do now have a party setup, by the way, so we'll just activate that. So
Gracias for the healing.
hey, see, that's what my ultimate goal is right there. Is to just get enough eliminations and keep the cooldowns going lower. Okay, so we go Efflorescence. Then we have Around the World. This is the speed boost build. So this is the increased radius. That's a 90% radius with 32% movement speed. That's the big one is you get that movement speed to move your team around very quickly. 4 seconds is a very long time. And then the other one, this is my personal favorite, is Tree Tech. Now this is a sustain build. This gives me 30% damage reduction and I get that movement speed. I love this build. So I've got 30% damage reduction. My allies get 32% movement speed. It's a win-win for me. This is a tank build. This is your best build, and I love this because of the fact that you're able to so effectively just be a point tank. You heal your allies and you give them movement speed, and healing them not only heals you, but it gives you damage reduction, and it encourages you to heal your allies. This is something that's pretty... Alright, so...
I feel stronger, healer.
And that's the thing. Your ult is also very easy to counter just with Cauterize. Yes, you heal a lot, but your ult is really bad against Death and Tax with Leon. Like, Death and Tax with Leon is pretty much a hard counter. Your Vine is also very hit or miss. It's very hard to hit your Vine.
Well, you know.
But I love Grover as an example of a champion that is like Barrack. He's very... The PPL, which is the Paladins Premier League, which is a PC-based event, they like champions like Barrack, and Grover, and Ying, and Torvald. And then you look at champions, and then you go to PC players, this is so-called the elite players, and like some of the Grandmasters that I hear a lot, that bitch and moan and complain about the game all the time. And they can't stand these characters. They think Grover is such shit. They think Barrack is such shit. They think Ying is such shit. They think Torvald is such shit. And I sit there and I have to laugh in their face. And they're like, bro, these are the best of the best players. And you're saying that they're shit? Grover was just recently ranked by a number of competitive PPL teams as one of the top 4 healers in the game. Okay, that's a strong statement to be made. By the way, I'm just going to show off my axe right here because it's a cool looking axe. Just wanted to show that off. No offense. Your Vine is very hit or miss. I don't like the Vine. You can run Vine builds. I'm personally not a fan of them. One of the problems that Grover does have against him is he is a projectile-based weapon that you have to lead. On a moving target, it's kind of difficult to do. Like right here, your cripple's great because you can cripple people rather effectively. Ying couldn't teleport there. I mostly use that to pull out other champions. So, for example, if Ceres is trying to do her wind up to shadow travel, I will pull out the cripple to keep her from going into it. Or if Ashe is winding up shoulder bash, put it on cooldown. Don't let him do it. It makes him very good as a very anti-type champion for countering, as a long-range way of countering. The problem that you have to realize with Grover is this, though. So you're going to sit here and you're going to do that long-range damage, or you're going to get up in people's faces and do close-range healing. You have to choose. There's no middle ground on him. And if you try and straddle the line and say, well, I'll just Vine in and out, which is an effective strategy, you cannot make that a viable enough strategy. So what do you want to buy on him? Haven and Blast Shields are great choices. Not so much resilience. Grover really isn't that affected by resilience. He is affected by Caught. Like, let's be clear, he is massively fucked by Cauterize. Bulldozer is a good choice if you're having a problem with certain things, but it's not great. And Bulldozer does not stack on Deep Root, so you can't do a chain reaction cripple like you can on Grok Shock Pulse. Wrecker should be your go-to choice. Caught if you're playing Sniper. Really, you don't even need that. Just pick up Wrecker to deal with your shields for your team. What you want to run are Kill to Heal and something in the yellow category, along with Haven or Blast Shields. Whatever's pissing you off the most. Rejuvenate is only good if you've got another healer again. Veteran is not effective because you're always healing, you're always in combat. Life Rip is good if you're playing that Sniper. If you're that Ferocity Sniper, Life Rip is great, because you're going to get, 100, 200, 300 an axe in some cases, so you're good. Kill to Heal is your best bet, because not only is it going to benefit the kills you get, but it's going to benefit the healing you put out. This is really your prime category right here. Master Rider for positioning, Nimble for ground-to-ground mobility, Chronos for cooldown reduction, and morale boost for your ult, because your ult is really powerful for sustain. If the enemy team doesn't buy Caught against a Grover, Grover is fucking going to destroy you in healing. And he's a very strong, viable healer. The problem, in my opinion, that I think is, I buy Chronos on him. He's one of the few champions that I do, and it's mostly out of habit, because he does have a nice bursty heal. He has that 900 burst heal, and then it's duration, but you find yourself not being able to put out enough healing in the meantime. He has the second longest cooldown behind Grok in terms of healing output. Okay, get it? Hold on. That didn't work. Like, this right here is not an effective strategy. That was not an effective strategy. But his ability to zip in and out is very effective. But the problem is you need to increase the range on it if you're going to try that. Kids, don't try this at home. You don't really have a reload. My only problem with Grover is simply that range discrepancy. He has to deal damage at range, but he has to be close to heal.
Gather round. Did I do that? Yes, I think I did.
And that leading projectile can be a bit of an annoyance. It also doesn't help if you're trying to point fight and heal that's the best you're going to get on damage. You need to learn how to zip in and out. he does require a lot of skill to work with. The other problem, too, is a lot of champions can counter Grover pretty effectively. Nullify on Torvald is a very good counter to him. Another good counter is Sky's Debilitate, because it robs that heal completely from them on the right build. Moji just enough constant DPS to out-damage the heal. Willow Dead Zone will completely destroy your ult. Your ult is useless against a Willow Dead Zone. Another thing is a Tyra Burn monster completely counters your ult. Don't bother. Grok's ult can not out-damage your ult, but he can use his to keep his team alive better than yours. You cannot out-heal a Genos ult. That's the other thing to note. Don't think that you can activate your ult, you're gonna out-heal Genos, you're gonna out-heal, a Sky. You're not gonna be able to do that, just because you heal X amount per second. If you're already low when you activate your ult, and you're about to get hit by a Genos ult, you're fucking dead. Don't bother. Your ult does not help when Khan ults somebody, because he's just gonna chuck them out of your range of healing. Your ult is actually a good counter to Koga. Leon can just absolutely obliterate everything about you. Lex can absolutely obliterate everything about you if he's got enough caught. Fernando is a good combo to do with Grover's ult, because you can Grover ult with the Fernando and heal him up for a lot of health, and he keeps you from dying. But that's a waste of 2 ults. You're using 2 sustain emergency bailout ults on one situation. You cannot counter a Drogo's ult with your healing. Don't even bother. You cannot counter a Bomb King ult. Don't even bother. Bomb King will hit you for 2400 health, which will be enough to kill you if you're not already in your ult. You're not going to get stunned by it, but you're going to have a hard time healing your team. You can out-heal a Barrack ult, but not by much. You cannot out-heal a Dredge ult. Don't even bother. But, I mean, that's just a couple of things that Grover has a lot of advantages and disadvantages. And you deal that solid damage at range, but it's also a matter of hitting a moving target.
Make like a tree. Well, you know.
Now, I have good strafing aim.
Double kill. Triple kill.
So I can hit moving targets pretty effectively.
Double kill.
I think I did.
See where I'm trying to do that strafing? That's how you kind of have to play him at range. So that's he does have good DPS numbers, but I mean the problem with Grover is that you have to balance. Because now, let's say you want to heal, right? Now you have to get into that range in order to do it. He also suffers from lower mobility than most people would expect. Yes, he does have his Vine, which is pretty effective, but it's not as effective as you would like it to be. I do want to see if I can Vine up there real quick. Hold up, let's see. Yep, you can get up to the top level right here. And that does make it quite effective.
Make like a tree.
But the problem with Grover is he really does suffer from lower mobility than a lot of people would expect. So you have to deal with the pros and cons on his mobility as a support champion. He's not a champion that can move around the battlefield very rapidly and quickly like a Genos or a Saris can. You know, even if you were to fix the cooldown, you have to realize, so first you have to have an ally or terrain to latch onto, and then you have to have the pull time to it. I did not mean to do that. But that's what you have to run the risk of with Grover. Grover requires a lot of skill to play. And I hope this video has been helpful for some tips and tricks on him. But I've kind of just threw this one together Mostly because of the fact that there's not really a lot to say on Grover. He's a long-range damage, and he's a close-range support. His ult can be game-changing, but it can also be countered pretty easily. And he's a champion that has probably the strangest kit in the game, and I would like his old kit back. If he's going to be a close-range healer, you should have his melee, his swinging, rather than the throwing axe. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.